Hello and welcome to the Beer of the Week drink along with me, Matt, and once again, no Luke. Today we are drinking a fantastic beer from a Wellington brewery called Whistling Sisters, and this is their dry Irish stout. Now, Whistling Sisters are a fantastic brewery set right in the heart of Wellington on Taranaki Street, and they're producing a fantastic range of beers in traditional styles as well as doing some more experimental stuff. But this beer is as traditional as it gets. Now, Whistling Sisters come from a hospitality background, so they are behind the famous Wellington pub, the Backbencher, and various other venues around the city. And they started Whistling Sisters as a brewery and fermentory, so fermenting in, specialising in fermented foods at the restaurant that they have there, as well as obviously fermenting delicious beers like this one. One fantastic thing about Whistling Sisters is that a portion of their profits all go to the Karen Louisa Foundation, which is a cancer charity, which was set up in honour of the daughters of the owners, Karen Louisa, who passed away from cancer some years ago. So it's really fantastic that it's a business with a cause, and it's packed with fantastic people. The team that work there are really fantastic, from Bede, who runs the show, Padmal, who's their experienced head brewer, one of the only certified Master Brewers working in New Zealand, and Logan, who's a good friend of ours, is the assistant brewer, and it's a really great team down there, lovely people doing fantastic stuff. And this dry Irish stout is, as I said earlier, about as classic as you get. Now, it's impossible to talk about dry Irish stouts without addressing the elephant in the room, which is Guinness. Now, Guinness is one of the most popular beers in the world. I'm sure all of you watching this have had it or seen it, and it's actually a point of frustration for a lot of brewers when pouring other styles of dark beer like imperial stouts and porters and Schwarzbier. A lot of the time, the question that you get most asked, or the comment that you hear the most about any dark beer is like, "Oh, it's a bit like Guinness, isn't it?" Well, not all dark beers are like Guinness, but this one unmistakably shares that same origin. The Irish Dry Stout was invented and pioneered by the Guinness Brewery, working out of their brewery in Dublin at St James's Gate, and it distinguishes itself from the traditional English stouts from its use of roasted barley. Roasted barley is a crucial ingredient in this beer, and it gives it that really kind of roasty, dry finish. And also, if you hold the beer up to the light, you should see, depending on your glass, some lovely ruby highlights to the beer which come from that roasted barley as well. Roasted barley is such an important ingredient to the Irish Dry Stout that actually at the St James's Gate Brewery in Dublin, Guinness roast their own barley 24/7, 365 days a week. Don't take a break on Christmas. They're constantly roasting barley because they get through such a huge quantity of it that they need to ensure their quality and consistency. Now, while Whistling Sisters didn't roast their own barley for this beer, there is a significant portion of that in there, and you'll pick up some really lovely kind of rich dark chocolate character as you get through this beer. It's got that, really kind of like roastiness. It's got that coffee note, and there's no mucking around with a lot of sweetness that you get in some of your alternative styles of dark beer, like milk stouts and stuff like that. It's really got a bit of that dark malt astringency on the back of the palate, and kind of brings in those coffee chocolate flavours. And there's a little bit of earthiness in there. This beer is made with 100% Fuggles hops. Those of you who've followed a bunch of the beers that we've talked about in these past videos will know that Luke and I are both huge fans of Fuggles. It's a fantastic English style which lends this kind of really interesting kind of earthy spiciness to the beer. So yeah, it's a really nice classic example of a clean stout, perfect for this kind of winter time. Now, with this one, you're probably gonna want to let it warm up a little before you drink it to really get the most. Those kind of dark malt flavors open up, and some of the perception of acidity and astringency drops back a little as it warms. So you probably want to drink this at about 10 or so degrees. I think you can recommended food pairings would be something like Colcannon, which is an Irish potato potato dish, Irish stew, or a whiskey cake to kind of take advantage and balance off the flavours that you're getting, and come play with some of that traditional Irishness there. So I hope you enjoy it. If you're after any more from Whistling Sisters, you can check out what they've got going on their website. We do have one of their collaboration beers that we brewed with Whistling Sisters available on our website at the moment, which is BOTW, our table beer. So if you like what Whistling Sisters are doing, I would recommend checking that out. We've got a few other incredible mixed cases on the go on the website at the moment as well, and we've got a box of Belgian classics beers. So if you're into these kind of traditional and classic styles but lean more towards the Belgian, then we've got a fantastic selection there with breweries like Saison du Pont, Westmalle Double, Chimay, Duval, Lindemans, Duchesse de Bourgogne. It's a fantastic box of classic Belgian styles, so you can check that out. We have also got our winter drops, so if you're into wintry beers like this as well, it's our seasonal selection of winter beers. So we've got a bunch of stouts and dark beers in there, a brown ale, as well as a few IPAs, a red ale, a bock, and actually that Whistling Sisters table beer that I mentioned just before. So check those out on our website. The other thing that's really cool that's going on at the moment is our Trans-Tasman collaborational project, where we have worked with Carwyn Cellars over in Australia to pair up 12 Australian and 12 Kiwi breweries. Now those breweries are producing 12 different beers simultaneously in Australia and New Zealand for simultaneous release on both sides of the Tasman. So it's a really exciting opportunity to have 24 different breweries working together to produce 12 exciting new beers. If you keep an eye on our social media pages, we're rolling out the announcements about those beers and what's being brewed over the coming weeks in preparation for our pre-order box, which is shipping at the end of August. And if you're coming to Beervana, you can also check the beers out there. We've got some killer lineup there, so make sure you check out what's going on. In the meantime, enjoy this dry Irish stout from Whistling Sisters, and see you next week. Cheers.